Today on the show, I give a lowdown on two beastly metal music albums freshly reviewed. Will they make it into my collection? You'll find out here on the show that answers the main metalhead question: where can I get more metal music right now? Terry here again with Cast Metal and another full metal review segment. If you like the stuff that is here on this list, FMR is for you. I review and break down the newest extreme releases of the week from my own charts and get them to you daily. Stay to the end because I'll give you another extreme metal album from my own collection too, just to say thanks. Okay. So, recap. During episode 30, my final beta episode, I'm now going into normal mode. I reviewed Exocrine's new album, or is it Exocrine? I'm still not sure. I reviewed their new album, Legend, and it went into my collection so fast, you wouldn't even realize it happened. This album is absolutely phenomenal all the way through. It is chock full of surprises. Check out the last episode for the full breakdown. So today, our first of two albums up for review is... I've been wanting to get into this one for a few days now. Escuela Grind's new EP, Death Metal, and it's spelled all extended here. All right, so let's start the FMR show. All right, before I listen to the album, or EP in this case, I opened the page and I saw that there were 4 strong-sounding tracks totaling only 14 minutes. I really wanted more. The album cover artwork, as you can see, is a dirty black and white scene with a chainsaw, which sold me right away. I had to have it along with the title name. And it has a mix of their custom fonts and standard fonts. It looks dirty and ready for my dinner. Okay. Kudos to the artwork. Okay. I love the artwork here. It's fantastic stuff. Okay. My first impression has me visualizing something crunchy and salty, okay? Although categorized as metal in Apple Music, because I know they don't offer all the categories we use, I predict the genre to be a mix of deathcore and maybe punk, maybe even grindcore. I guess the grind in Escuela Grind kind of gave that away, so... right now, that's what I'm thinking, but I'll reveal what I think their actual genre is after I've listened to the album at the end of the show and compare it to their actual bio to see if I was on point. All right, rolling through, track 1 opens with massive, hypnotic, undulating rhythms and chugs along with brutal, powerful vocals, volcanic guitars, bass, and thunderous drums. It is just nice all the way through. Okay, I love that deep, dark, hard grinding rhythm stuff. While track 2 is just a lot more fun, super powerful sounding rhythms, rangy, grinding, and loud with killer, dirty vocals. She is so sassy. I love this vocalist. Then track 3 continues the onslaught with deep grinding power and total attitude. Next, track 4 concludes the album with more of the same punchy, crunchy, powerful grinding metal, okay? The recording and sound quality, it was clean, loud, and pushing the tech just a little wee bit, while production and musicality was ultra raw. The energy and intensity, it was big, while rhythm and tempo was punchy and strong. The lyrical theme here seems to be attitude. Becoming a mainstream act here is... I don't think it's a possibility, so fear not, Metal Warriors. They're going to belong to us in the underground. The range, flow, and layout of the album is tight all the way through, but there are only 4 tracks. They all sound just so similarly strong. They're arranged well. They remind me of a band that I recently downloaded and heard for the first time, Year of the Knife, but with more teeth. I think that makes sense. ChatGPT says they sound like Pig Destroyer, Nasum, Brutal Truth, and Insect Warfare, 4 bands who I've not heard yet. As far as individual performances, I describe the vocals as sassy, classy, and crunchy fry vocals, very like a female crocodile, while the guitars I can only describe as big and razor sharp. The bass section was thunderously big and very dominant. And finally, the drums and percussion performance was tight and powerful. There were no sound effects. There's no sound bites or anything to talk about here. It's just guitars, drums, bass, and vocals. That's all it is. It's raw. General feeling I had during this ride was white knuckles and goosebumps all the way through, which led me to give this album a dark tonality shade. And the overall color or colors I could only describe as super red with anger. Okay. Lastly, I rated the temperature as magma hot and a seismic reading of 8.3 on the Richter scale. So I think I'm going to keep this one on my headphones and away from the family just in case, because I'm the only one who's into this stuff. In summary, my predictions from earlier were on point. I'm glad about that. Yay. I reveal that their personal official genre description, I'm going to say that they're grindcore. I'm going to go right there. And when I looked at the bio, it says grindcore and hardcore punk, which means that I was sort of on point. I thought that there was some kind of punkish stuff in there, and that's okay. My favorite tracks, all 4 of them, were equally yummy, okay? It went into my library pretty quick, just about 10 minutes before I started this video. Our next album up for review is Hiraes. Okay, I hope I pronounced this right. And their new album is called Dormant. And before I listened to the album, I opened the page to see that there were 10 strong-sounding tracks totaling 46 full minutes. The album cover artwork, as you can see, is a beautiful, cold-looking, multicolored dormant volcano. It's a nature scene with custom and standard fonts. Kudos to the artist. Great selections here. I had the immediate feeling, rather, that this was a cold album. My first impression has me visualizing something very smart, probably melodic or even mainstream. And although categorized as metal only in Apple, I know that they don't offer all the categories that we use, so I predict the genre to be somewhere around the melodic mainstream metal area. But I'll review what I think their actual genre is after I've listened to the album at the end of the show and compare it with their actual bio to see if I was on point. All right, so track 1 of 10 opens up blistering fast, and immediately I know that I was completely wrong. It's actually powerful thrashing and melodic death metal with crisp harmonies all the way through the first track. Track 2 feels deep as it opens, and it smashes open with big, glorious guitar and throaty, powerful vocals and excellent rhythms all the way through. Tons of range throughout this album, okay? Track 3 feels like a march through the hills. It's big, it's dramatic, and it's very melodic. Next, track 4 just kicks with melody in a big death metal rangy track. It's nice all the way through. Track 5 builds into a bursting wave of guitars and then speed. Punchy, crisp, and rangy all the way through. Track 6 is clever. Such a soft, memorable opening into a mountainous death metal finale. And it opens up track 7, which is a fiery, all-out war death metal track with immense harmonies and range. Okay? While track 8 escapes everything with a faster death metal feel of thunderous proportions, immense, and also melodic right through. Track 9 opens deep. Actually, track 9 goes deep with ultra-fast chilling passages of rangy strength, and it's very dramatic. Finally, track 10, and I thought to myself, this is going to be really big because everything is so well arranged so far. Track 10 does not disappoint. It opens with haunting rhythms and piano into their most punishing track. It's got gobs of speed and dramatic depth, very unexpectedly exciting. What a tremendous job. Tremendous. A brief summary, okay? They feel organic, like nature. I enjoyed most of listening to this album with my eyes closed, okay? And I can imagine them someday live with with a symphony backing them, like the 100-piece symphony and behind them and so on and so forth that we have come to see now and again. Recording and sound quality rather was crisp and clean and very balanced. Okay, it wasn't overtly bassy or anything. Production and musicality was highly refined. The energy and intensity was high. The rhythm and tempo was rangy and tight. The lyrical theme here seems to be reality. It's all about life. Becoming a mainstream act here is a slight possibility, although I really cannot tell their direction, to be frank with you. I am not the seer of these things, okay? The range, flow, and layout of the album is consistent, and the tracks are arranged with care. You'll hear that when you download this and listen to the final track. It's just, everything just goes in such an ebb and flow. They remind me of a band called Arch Enemy. And when I went to ChatGPT, it says Arch Enemy, Unleash the Archers, The Agonist, and Ginger. That's the 4 bands that ChatGPT says that they sound like. As far as individual performances, I describe the vocals as crisp fry vocals, while the guitars I can only describe as quite beautiful, with gusto all the way through. Excuse me for a moment. The bass section, tight and big. And finally, the drums and percussion performance was massive, accurate, tight, and fast. There were well-placed sound samples that lent, to a great flowing story all the way through the album, okay? So it's not just the raw instruments. You're going to hear a little bit of sampling and sound bites in there. General feeling I had during this ride was more of a visual journey than an electric feeling I could feel in my bones. I could just close my eyes and I could feel like I was flying throughout this entire album. It led me to give this album a lighter tonality shade, and the overall color or colors could only be described as white and gray. It's cool. Okay, it's got a cooler feel to it. Lastly, I rated the temperature as a cooler shade of cold and a seismic reading of 7.3, which is way above average. And I'm going to use this one here on my daily walks, to say the least. I'm going to save this one here. It's going to be one of my Sunday favorites, I believe. In summary, my predictions from earlier were way off. So go ahead, laugh it up in the comments section. Finally, I revealed that the actual genre description is melodic death metal. And the official bio actually said the same thing, which means that I was kind of sort of, only the melodic part was right, but okay. I could not have, for the life of me, guessed death metal for sure. My favorite tracks were 3, 7, 9, and the final one, 10 for sure. Finally, yes, it went into my album collection because it's such a smart album. It's just nice, okay? So that's it for another episode of FMR. So I dug into my treasure chest and pulled out something that I've recently downloaded. I hope I pronounced this right. They're called Blut or Blut au Nord. Okay, I don't have a French accent, but I know that they're French. Their latest album, Disharmonium Nahab or Nahab, one of those two. So Blut au Nord, their latest album, Disharmonium Nahab. That's just for you to keep Sunday right. A little extra thank you for hanging out with me today. And that's it for today, my friends. Remember, please, to support your favorite metal artists. Stream them, engage them on social, buy the merch, and see them live if you can. Join me again soon for another episode of FMR. And finally, hit that subscribe button because metal music matters. Then set up your notifications so you can get new album recommendations right here first. Okay. Cheers and happy Sunday. We'll see you again soon.